welcome back to another exciting edition of Comic Cave. My name is Chris, here with my hetero life mate, Mr. Russell. So we have a topic today to talk about. Don't know if it's going to be liked upon or not, but here it goes. So the other day I was watching an episode. It was a documentary of South Park. I forget the name of the documentary, but I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about if you watch South Park. On this particular episode of documentary, on this episode that they were recording, you know, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they've been around since 1997. Mm-hmm. South Park is well known. Right. And they've been very controversial. I mean, they've hit a lot of racial subjects. They've hit a lot of...
Pretty sure their goal when they made South Park was to see how far they can go before getting canceled.
Right. That would be funny if that were true. Like, if that was like, yeah, we...
Pretty sure that's true.
We just did it so we see if we get canceled. That'd be funny. Yeah. So I was watching this documentary, and they were... Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they're two white guys from Colorado. Once again, I love South Park, so this is not a knock against South Park at all. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, I love what they do. South Park is an awesome movie. And what are you doing?
I'm sorry, I'm just really noticing how messed up his pinky is. It just really threw me off. I was like, was it always like that, or did that shit get bent?
He comes alive like
I don't know.
Toy Story. Are we doing this again?
No, we can keep going. No, let's just...
No, we gotta do this again. God damn it, Russell. You threw me off. Shit. Okay, so...
I mean, we can cut this part down. Just
right.
Keep going.
Well, I'm gonna do it all over again. Because I feel like I do that better. Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting edition of Comic Cave. My name is Chris, here with my hetero life mate, Mr.
Russ.
What is going on, everyone? Russell, we have a topic to talk about today. This topic is maybe controversial. We don't know, but here it goes. So the other day I was watching an episode of South Park. It was a documentary, actually, on South Park. I forget the name of the documentary, but it was something...
What's it on?
It was on YouTube, actually.
YouTube,
like 7 days to air. It's a very old documentary. I think it came out mid-2000s, somewhere there's maybe 2010s. But I was watching the documentary, and it was basically showing how the setup of a South Park episode goes. Because as you know, I don't know if you've seen documentaries. I've seen the Simpsons documentaries, and it takes like 6 months to make one episode.
Right.
Because they got to do that shit play by play. They got to do voiceovers.
Quick with it, though.
Right. South Park, they could flip it within, and that's exactly what this documentary was about.
Yeah, that's how they do their topics on current events and keep it so current. They'll knock it out within like a week.
Right. So Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they are the front runners of South Park. They've been around since 97. South Park, they're a cornerstone of animation. And once again, I love South Park. This is not a knock against South Park. I was just noticing something and I saw it and I'm like, what is that? Why does that differ? So if you guys can help me out, let me know. But so on this documentary, Trey Parker, he does most of the voices. He does Stan, he does Mr. Hanky, he does Mr. McAfee. I can't remember his name. The counselor, okay, and he does a whole lot of voices. So on this particular episode, it was an Asian guy, a Chinese man, and a Japanese guy, and he did both of their voices. And once again, Trey Parker's a white dude, and once again, I'm not trying to fucking cancel nothing or do nothing. I'm curious.
Making an observation.
Right, I'm curious. So white guy was doing a very stereotypical Chinese voice and a very stereotypical Japanese voice.
And exaggerated.
Right, and they're very exaggerated. And so it got me thinking, I'm like, okay, that's, why does Trey Parker, and then my boy Hank Azaria, who we all know he's been around because he is one of the pillar stones of The Simpsons. Hank Azaria does the voices of Chief Wiggum, he does the voices of Mo Sizlak, many voices, but one voice in particular, he does the voice of Apu, Nahasa Pimapetalon. And I think you know about this whole documentary that came out about Apu, and and there's more subjects on that as well.
He was too stereotypical, and that it was essentially racist of the dude.
Right. And so I'm thinking to myself, when I saw that documentary, I'm thinking to myself, Apu...
Why did that get canceled, and why does the South Park stuff get away with it?
Right. Because I'm just like, Apu, the character of Apu, he has a doctrine, he's a business owner, he became a citizen.
So I think it's partly, if I can kind of chime in here, I think it's partly that South Park, when they were creating the show originally, if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to see how much they could get away with before getting canceled. So that's one aspect, and that's just because of that aspect. That's what South Park is known for. They're known for exaggerating, and not just these couple of characters that you're talking about when he voiced, what was it? You said an Indian and an Asian,
Chinese,
Chinese
and a Japanese,
right? But like whenever, like one of my favorite episodes from South Park is about the space cache when they figure out warp speed or whatever from the Derby. You know what I'm talking about? So, like, when all the world leaders get on phone call to talk about how they're going to spin the space cache, all of the leaders, like, the Chinese was really, I'm sorry, but this was hilarious. It was just, oh no, not Finwin. I heard somebody should tell Norway. I heard they were really close. But, like, just the way that they say Finwin and, like, all of the characters, all of these world leaders are very, very stereotypical sounding. And
but see, that's the thing. The Simpsons, every character on there is stereotypical.
Right.
Every character on The Simpsons is an exaggeration, stereotypical character. I was talking to my friend the other day, and
I was just gonna say that's what South Park does, though. So maybe it comes down to also the networks that they're on.
Simpsons did it.
The networks that they're on.
Fox and
Comedy Central.
Central, HBO Max now.
Comedy Central has been allowed to be more, what's the word? Crude, more in general with their content.
Right, it's comedy. I mean, crude. You cannot have comedy.
But not just crude, just like they get away with a lot more than like a network or something on Fox does. Fox is still like I don't want to say a larger brand. It's a larger brand.
Right.
But it's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Corporate. It's a lot more corporate, and Comedy Central is corporate for sure. But
right.
Like, you get what I'm trying
Fox
to say.
Fox is more frontier,
right?
Not frontier, but more up there.
We have to be more conscious about how we do this stuff. Whereas anything that's come up on Comedy Central,
not really. Do you know Fox programming? I mean, they've even had like Married with Children on there, and this is back in the '90s when
things were different,
right? And The Simpsons back in the '90s,
but as the times
controversial.
As the times change, Fox has changed with it. Comedy Central's pretty much stayed the same.
Right.
That's just my observation.
And when I was and so I never saw the Apu documentary, and I've seen clips of it. I never saw the whole documentary, and I know one of the biggest things was Apu was a huge exaggeration, kind of like racist making towards Indian people.
Just because he owned the quick store.
That and the voice, the voice that Apu does, and it's done by Hank Azaria, who's a white guy. And
it might be taken offensively just because they're trying to make it sound more accurate and they're not trying to be over exaggerated, whereas with South Park it's just blatantly over
But see, that's my point is The Simpsons is an exaggerated cartoon. I'm Mexican, so they have Bumblebee Man. Bumblebee Man, to me growing up, I never took offense to it. I don't think I know any of my fellow Mexicans who take Bumblebee Man offensively.
I get you.
Like, I thought Bumblebee Man was the most hilarious character on South Park. It's ay, me duele. Like, I think it was funny as hell. So I never took, oh, that's the... Like, the guy in the documentary was like, his people were being represented wrong.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You can feel however the way you want to feel, but at the same time, it's just like, I just never saw Bumblebee Man as like, my Mexican people are being represented wrongly, like I should fight for this. And like I said, you can feel however you want to feel. Another racist character is Speedy Gonzalez. I don't know if it's racist, but it's exaggerated. But once again,
he did get canceled though.
He did?
Speedy Gonzalez? Was it Speedy Gonzalez or was it... No, I'm pretty sure it was Speedy that got canceled.
Oh.
They said that he was too racist. Yeah.
I guess so. But I was watching it. I'm like, how the hell did Matt Stone and Trey Parker? Once again, I love South Park. This is not like go attack them. Not at all.
Right.
I was just like observing it, and I was like, wait a minute, how
can they get away with this and like this other
like my boy Hank Azaria. I love Hank Azaria, and also like as a Blue Braza, massive silverware. If you know what that is, let me know.
It also might just be that The Simpsons is a staple thing and it's been around at the forefront. So you start with the biggest thing and kind of work your way.
I think
people are just very sensitive nowadays for sure. I'm not gonna say everybody, but there's just even the small group of people that are super sensitive are still making enough of an impact to change the way that our media is now being portrayed and stuff. And I'm not going to say that that's good or bad in any type of way. Like, I do wish that people wouldn't be so upset and sensitive, but
and it's comedy. Like,
yeah, it's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to, like, if this is how other people view this stuff. I don't know. It's and I am saying that as a white man. I understand. So I don't know.
You have privilege,
right?
But I just, and I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, "Oh." Because we talked about The Simpsons has a bunch of exaggerated characters on there. I mean, you have the Italians are represented.
Right, for sure.
Willie, Willie's an immigrant. Mo Sizlak, there's Italian. And you have all these walks of life represented on The Simpsons, but for some reason, Apu gets the most shit.
Yeah.
And once again, Apu, like I said, he has a doctrine. He has a quickie mart. He's a good father. Like, he takes care of all of his kids and his wife.
Kids.
He became a citizen. Like, I'm just like, Apu, one of the most.
Who cares about the quickie mart?
Exactly. Well, that's a great song.
I do.
That's a great song. But and then once again, I'm not knocking South Park, but then I see like Trey Parker, or was it Matt Stone? I can't remember. Doing the voice of an exaggerated, stereotypical voice of a Chinese guy and a Japanese guy, and I'm just like, what the? How does that work?
And they do it in almost every episode too, and like even like the way they treated the cook, his chef, when he left,
right?
Because of Scientology and stuff.
Yeah, he really Scientology. He believed in Scientology, and they kind of
left, and they basically gave him an FU and used old recordings and stuff to make the next episode, and like really just trashed his character.
Right.
Like, it's
but the one thing
known to be and honestly, not even just that. Like, their episode on the Mormon Church. All right, so anybody who doesn't know, I grew up in the Mormon Church, and that is honestly pretty freaking spot on. Like, that was hilarious, though.
Right.
Like, and it's okay to laugh at yourself. Like, I don't know. Like,
that's what I'm trying to ultimately get at. My boy Hank Azaria, he gave up his job willingly. He was like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I know he's not. Other characters, other cartoons as well. They as well.
Do you think that nobody has kind of tried to come for South Park and their characters and that? Because maybe we just haven't heard it.
I think they've gone through it so much. I mean, like I said, they are an offensive show, and I'm pretty sure there's someone out there who was offended by it.
Right.
But I'm just like this whole double thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why is this. And the one thing that one of my friends was talking about was like, the reason why the characters of Willie and everybody else, the Italian characters. The reason why they are not attacked, or not attacked, but the reason why they don't come after the people who do that is because they're white. Like, Mo Sizlak is white, even though he's Italian and everything, but he's white complected.
I get you.
And Apu was, he's dark skinned.
Do people feel any type of way about what's the doctor's name?
Dr. Hibbert?
Yeah.
Well,
whose voice is him? I don't even know.
Yeah, but I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But it's just, so basically, if you're not.
But it's a Family Guy. They got onto the dude who voiced Cleveland, right?
Right, the dude who does the voice for Cleveland. He's no longer doing Cleveland because of what they did to Hank Azaria. So
it's because of that.
Yeah, so he's no longer doing Cleveland. There's other cartoons out there that a white woman voiced a black character. I can't remember the cartoon right now. Comment down, please. But yeah, there was a white woman who did a black character's voice, a black girl's voice. She's no longer doing that voice because of Hank Azaria stuff. Then she doesn't want to get canceled or whatever.
Right.
Once again, I do not hate South Park. This is not a knock against Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I love South Park. It's been around since I was a kid.
Especially
I watched
the most recent pandemic episode.
Right. But I just don't understand how The Simpsons is a forefront.
But
for all these cartoons.
I think that is the reason why, is because they are the forefront. And then other companies or other shows, as you're saying, is because of that incident. They're like, well, let me go ahead and take my step back now before it escalates. Whereas South Park and those creators, they genuinely don't give a damn.
Care. We're just gonna go.
They're like, test me. Like, go ahead, do it. Like, we're trying to get canceled. Like,
and it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I just don't think. I just feel for my boy Hank Azaria. Like, he shouldn't have got canceled, or he shouldn't have. And at the end of the day, it's acting.
Right.
You're acting like that person.
How do people feel about Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal in, you know what I'm about to say?
Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder. At this point, like, if that movie came out now, he'd probably get canceled.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, you can...
What do you mean, you people?
It doesn't matter. And nowadays, it doesn't matter when you did it. You can get canceled at any time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm very surprised at Robert Downey Jr. But like it's funny. Jamie Foxx did an interview with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's like, "How do you think that would go today?" And Jamie Foxx was like, "We fucks with fucking RDJ. Like we're good. He's our boy. Like he's good. So that's why we didn't come after him." Plus, he's like, he did. Jamie Foxx said he did a really good rendition of that character. Like we fucks with RDJ. So that's why I guess they didn't come after him.
That's funny.
And Robert Downey Jr. also said on the Joe Rogan show, he's like, "Listen, you got to know where your heart is. If you know where your heart is, it's fine because it's all comedy."
Right.
And never did I think that Hank Azaria was like, you know what, I'm going to be a racist prick and I'm going to be making fun of Apu.
He's trying to do his job, right?
Yeah, and you know, I don't know.
I don't know if that makes it right or not, but
it just mind boggles me. And I get it, diversity for everybody, and I'm not knocking that at all.
Right.
Please don't take it as like, well, this asshole, you know. But I'm just like, dude, I was watching the documentary and I was thinking, how is it that these guys have gotten away with this and they're not canceled or whatever?
I think it's genuinely because they don't care.
That's true too. They don't give a shit.
They really don't care.
And please, if you have any comments or if you have any, write them down below. Talk to us. We'd like to communicate.
What are your thoughts? Do you have any other insight on it that we might have overmissed?
Right. Whether you come from all walks of life, comment down below. Because I'm genuinely curious about this. I'm just like,
if you are somebody who is offended by this stuff, what do you think? Like, yeah.
Right. If you're offended, I'm just
not trying to knock you or anything.
Right. No, I'm just like, what? Why are you offended? Like I said, growing up, I'm a Mexican kid. I'm not thinking like, oh, Bumblebee Man is offensive. Like I thought he was the most funniest character on The Simpsons. But yes, comment down below. I related with Bumblebee Man. Yeah, Channel 6. But I'm curious. I'm just like, I don't understand why my boy Hank Azaria was like, he got knocked on and he got ridiculed. Like, you piece of crap. Like you do this and that. I'm just like,
what do you do?
It's Apu. Like,
right.
And he's not. Yes, every character on there is stereotypical, but I mean, as far as stereotypical characters go, he's pretty damn good, and he's accomplished a lot. And but yeah, please tell us what you think. Russell, what else do you think of the topic before we close out?
No, honestly, I feel like you kind of wrapped it up like on a good note right there. It's I don't know. My best guess is that really, as far as South Park goes, it's just genuinely that they don't care. So it's the best thing I can say. That and Simpsons really is at the forefront of stuff. So
I mean, yeah, the Simpsons was the creators of South Park would tell you straight up they respect the Simpsons.
Right.
For some reason, they hate Family Guy, and I get why they hate Family Guy. I know why, but yeah, they hate Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah,
they don't like him at all. They think it's too bullshit comedy. It's easy comedy, they say. But once again, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Chris. Here, my hetero life mate,
Russ.
If you have any comments, direct them down below. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Is it Twitter?
Nah, we're on Twitch.
Spotify. We're everywhere. Go follow us. Links are down below. Links are also on our Instagram to all of our stuff. Please follow us. And until next time, peace.